Today's guest is Brady Mullen. He's a representative with the Capital Resource Group in Littleton, Colorado. Stick around to the end of this video because at the end we're going to show you how to subscribe to our newsletter. You can download some free guides and you can win books about exit planning. Thank you to Zarlingo Robb, CPAs and Business Advisors in Wheat Ridge, Colorado for providing a location for us to film this episode. At Zarlingo Robb, they think like business owners. For more information about Zarlingo Robb, please click their link in our website show notes. Hi, I'm Norman A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. I interview America's top advisors, like today's guest, Brady Mullen, to help business owners like you enjoy more personal freedom, grow your company a little faster, and retire someday on your own terms. Brady's with Capital Resource Group, where he provides a variety of business and personal financial products and services. So welcome to the show, Brady.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background and what your career path is taking you up to now?
I've been in the industry for 11 years now. I've always been really passionate about freedom. I like how you said that in the intro about providing freedom for people, because I think in this country particularly, that's something that Americans feel strongly about. And even though we're guaranteed certain freedoms in the Constitution, we're not guaranteed all freedoms, because you don't have all freedoms without a certain amount of effort on your part. The ultimate freedom that most of us would consider is the freedom of time. You have the ability when you wake up every morning to do whatever you want that day. And most of us can't answer that in the positive, because we have a stomach to fill and a roof to put on our houses. But we have the foundation in this country to go out and pursue those things, whatever it is that makes us happy. And if we want to pursue freedom by acquiring a certain amount of wealth, and that's different for each person depending on what their objectives are and their desires are. But in order to become what I call in order to achieve what I call the ultimate freedom, that takes some sort of planning in the wealth department, because as much as we don't want to talk about money and being happy, those two are very related. You cannot be free to pursue what you consider to be your personal happiness without some amount of wealth and some amount of planning to make that last, so that you can wake up every morning and decide, am I going to work today? Am I going to go fishing today? Am I going to fly to Florida today? That takes some planning, and it takes some wealth to do that, and I like being a part of that. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, good. You and I just met. We have a mutual friend, Ken Stiefler. That's an exit planning consultant. And so Ken, I'm sure Ken knows you a lot better than I do, and I'm sure there's other people that know you much better than even Ken. So if I were someone who knew you very well, how do you think I'd describe you? I've worked very hard and diligently to nurture three aspects that I think are important, that describe me and also the way I run business. And that is, the first thing I try to do is I try to treat people fairly. I always want to treat people in a way that 5, 10, 20 years from now, neither of us is going to look back at that and think that it didn't work out because somebody was greedy or afraid or whatever. I like to be very transparent and fair with people. The second thing is I like to be available. If somebody, we do a lot of things that are important to people, and even if I know everything is okay on a business plan that we're working on with clients, I know everything is okay. If they can't get a hold of me because they got an email or they got something that they're not quite understanding and they can't get a hold of me, then they're anxious and nervous, and that defeats the purpose of what we're doing altogether. So I think being available is very important. And then the third one is I try to I want people to know that I work hard for them. I stay on top of the new laws and regulations. I try to make sure that I have all options available to all of my clients by being well educated and continually educated in the field, so I can make sure I'm always offering the best options for clients. Okay, good. Tell me a little bit more about Capital Resource Group. I've been to your website, I've kind of looked that over, but how would you describe what CRG does? What CRG does is we focus on what we had talked about earlier. We focus on freedom. People, no matter how they're trying to pursue it, everybody's definition of what that means is a little bit different. How they pursue that is a little bit different. But there are some common elements in there, and we like to help people achieve that, what we called earlier the ultimate freedom, which is the freedom over your time, the control over your time. And if you haven't put those things in place to put to eliminate risks that can threaten that, to accumulate wealth, to help preserve that, and to help fund that, you cannot be ultimately free without those things, and that's something we hold very dear because we like to be a part of that. It's exciting, it's inspiring to watch Americans every day go through that and achieve that freedom that they've been looking for. That's important to them. It's important to us. It helps us know our clients very well and intimately. We have a very good client base, and that's our passion. That's what we do. So we provide the products to help people get to that freedom that they define themselves and enjoy on a personal level.
Okay, good deal. And I know you probably do lots of different things at Capital Resource Group. Is there any one thing that you like the best about what you're doing over there?
My favorite thing to do are the complicated ones. They're more interesting.
Right.
We write simple things all the time, and those are great because they're meaningful, and so they're never boring to us. But sometimes we get into cases where there's a lot of moving parts, and it's interesting. It's more fun. Those are the ones that you think about when you're just going around the day or cooking dinner. You think about, maybe there's something we could use here. Oh, I forgot about. I need to have these people get in contact with these people, and you're constantly thinking about those things, and that just makes the work day so much more interesting and fun.
Yeah, you even dream about them.
Yeah, you do. You wake up. Sometimes you wake up at night, don't you? You think, that's it. That's what I've been waiting for. And then you're waiting for 8 o'clock in the morning to roll by so you can call the client and talk to them. Hey, here's something we need to consider. It might be a good fit.
Yeah, wait till you're 60. You'll forget what it was the night before, though. So
pen and paper by the bed, on the bedstand. Exactly.
Okay, so Capital Resource Group obviously isn't the only company that does what you're doing in the Denver area, but from talking to you already, I can tell you want to be the best you can. So what do you think differentiates you from other firms that are kind of doing similar things?
The biggest thing that is important, there's a few of us that work there. We're a small company, and we keep it that way because we don't want our clients ever to get lost in a phone tree. And so that makes us different, but not from everybody. What makes us different from everybody, I think, what we do the best is why. We know the why of all of our clients. And that puts dimension into that freedom that we had discussed earlier. If we know the why, we know their passions, we know their desires, that can help us really understand what types of tools work best for them. Eventually that translates into dollars and cents to make sure that they're not buying something they don't need.
Right.
Make sure they're not missing something that they do need. And when you understand that why, it helps you really put a package together. Everything that we do is individualized for the client. Now, some of them are simpler and some of them are more complex, but every client starts out with a clean slate. We never market any products. We always market, here's a service that we provide. We want to sit down with you and help you understand you, and then help you put together something that fits exactly what you're trying to accomplish.
That's a great philosophy, and unique. So in doing that, something has to energize you every day to keep pushing towards finding out the why of your clients. Is there what energizes you the most about?
Well, there's two things. We had talked earlier about freedom. I'm a very passionate person about that. I think America is unique. It's the freedoms that we're guaranteed in the Constitution are not. That doesn't make everybody all of a sudden fully free to do whatever they want all the time, but it's a good base so that we're allowed to pursue happiness the way that we define that. And in order to do that, it takes certain elements, and we try to provide some of those elements. We certainly can't do them all, but each person, in order to do that, they have to have some discipline, they have to have hard work, they have to have a certain set of values. And what's motivating about that to me is that the people that pursue those kinds of things are the people that I like dealing with. We have something in common. We believe in those things, and it's energizing and inspiring to help produce that with people, to help create the ultimate freedom for individuals and families.
Good.
And the second thing that motivates me each day is my wife and my children.
Yeah, that's
I get kicked out of the door in the morning and they'll say, come home at 5, having done a good day's work. No, I'm kidding. Sort of.
Well, that's pretty important. So if you, a lot of our viewers are business owners, and a lot of them are more around my age, who 50 to 60 years old, who have had a business for a long time, and now they're all of a sudden thinking about, how they're going to, exit that business. If, in your experience with working with those type of people, if there was one thing that you could tell them that might shortcut the process, what do you think it would be?
You asked for one thing. Can I give you two?
Sure.
Is that
yeah, go ahead. No, that's fine.
The first thing, this really isn't a secret, but it's more of a reminder, and that is to do it now. Mm-hmm. If you want a tree in 5 years, you don't wait to plant it. The sooner you plant it, the bigger the tree will be in 5 years. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that go into exit planning that take time. Mm-hmm. And so plant that tree today. Do something about it today. Get involved. Specifically, get involved with an exit planner who has some experience. Most people who run a business, that's their biggest asset. Mm-hmm. And most people, they haven't done it. They haven't exited a business before. Right. They haven't exited a business before. Right. Having somebody on your team that can help navigate those waters and bring the right people to the table. There's a lot of people that you ought to be talking to if you're a business owner. People like attorneys, valuation specialists, investment bankers, private equity firms. All those people can provide invaluable information. And even, well, that's the second thing. The first thing is start. Do something about it now, because there's a time component on a lot of the elements, and those elements are not only designed to make your business more profitable and more sellable and more lucrative, but also it makes it nicer to run your business while you're in it. Right. Because the nicer it is to own now, the more premium it's going to demand when you go to sell it, because people who buy businesses want to buy something that is a little more self-sustaining and a little more predictable. Right. Who wouldn't want that, owning it or selling it? Right. And so that's the second thing, is pay attention to the smart buyers out there. The smart buyers often represent investment capital, and they're often fiduciaries of that capital, and they know a lot about businesses and what risks and efficiencies exist therein. Even if you're not trying to sell your business, the insight of investment bankers and private equity and valuation specialists and attorneys, it's invaluable, because as a business owner, not only do you want to have a business that demands a premium in the market, but the reason it demands a premium is because that income in that business is predictable and it's void of a lot of risks that are out there. And so even if your business is not for sale, having a predictable business that is void of a lot of risks, you as a business owner have a lot of investment in that business as well. Wouldn't it be nice to know how to eliminate a lot of the risks that are in businesses and to make the income and business more predictable? And those people can give you invaluable information, because their clients that have the investments are looking for those kinds of things. And those same things represent your investment as a business owner of time and money. You want it to be predictable, and you want it to be void of risks. So pay attention to smart money. What they want and what they're willing to pay a premium for and what they want discounts for is very important to a business owner, whether you sell the business or not.
Okay, good advice. Okay, so for more information about Brady and Capital Resource Group, you can visit the show notes on our website, and we'll have a link to their website there and some other contact information for Brady. And while you're there, subscribe to our newsletter. You can also download some free guides and win a copy of several different books that pertain to exit planning.